All right, guys. So we're a little late, but that's okay. So welcome to the BLTN podcast. I'm your host, Warfare, and we're here with a few guests tonight. Unfortunately, McDilly, I think, is still stuck taking a shit, and that's okay. He's gonna have to miss out on something, unfortunately. But so you're gonna see now we have a new overlay. You guys can tell exactly who's talking once they actually talk. You'll have a little thing going around their box, and you can tell who's who. We have Virus tonight. We have Fat Clemenza, and then we have Moose coming on for McDilly. If you guys have any questions, just let us know in the chat, and we'll try to get through all the stuff you guys have. How you guys doing tonight?
Excellent.
Yeah, you
Well,
kind
we're
of
late,
missed me
so-
on the introductions.
I'm okay.
What happened?
You missed me on the introductions there.
Talander. Yeah. Nobody fucking cares. He gets left
Stat
out.
down here.
Nobody,
Thanks.
yeah, he's below me, to the right somewhere. It's all right. It works out. Tonight we're going to talk about a few things. I didn't give you guys the stuff yet, but we're talking about a few things. So Ghosthawk rules, obviously, it's a big thing that's been happening this week. Virus has been kind of like the main man when it comes to that. So I expect a lot of opinions from you, Virus. We got some stuff with RP training, whether or not we like it, if more should be done, how often, that sort of thing. We're going to talk about Ace doing flight training for corporals if they want to actually be able to fly their helicopters. And then probably finally we'll talk about tasing and how many bullets you really need to tase someone, if it needs to be increased, lowered, and then if you guys have any other questions and stuff, we'll talk about those as well. First topic, what do you guys really want to talk about first? No,
I'm down with whatever.
Anything? Talander, you're pretty into the whole tasing thing. You want to start with that and just drop your opinions on it and what you think what needs to be changed with it?
Sure, yeah. It's just, the only reason why I posted kudos to Hades for posting that post on, post-wipe thoughts and suggestions. And so, for those that didn't see that, there's a post in the Hades post, and you just write your particular topics or suggestions in the format that he had demonstrated. And depending on the many likes or dislikes, it would be discussed amongst the Olympus team. And I posted two things on there, but one of the main ones that I posted was the fact that tasers. I assumed that the taser speeds were reduced. In Poseidon's messages on the wipe update, it says that it was going too fast. Hades corrected me in saying that it wasn't the speed that they reduced; it was the damage was reduced to 2.5 from whatever setting that it was. And so when I played mainly a lot with a lot of the officers in different types of scenarios. What's ended up happening is, and a lot of the scenarios would relate to close quarters combat, was that we would die after like 3 or 4 shots from them, and after we put as many rounds as we could into the suspects.
Okay, so Ham, I'm pretty sure. Didn't you say did you have problems with the taser rounds? Are you having any issues with them, or are you happy with how they are now? What's your deal with them?
Well, the way I would like to see them come out to be is to be on par with the 7.62. With the new guns coming out, we're not going to get any of those because none of them have tracer rounds. So the big thing is, why not just make it as strong as a 7.62? 2 to 3 to the chest, down, 1 to the head, whatever. Same way like with, MK18, straight to the head, whatever.
Now, should that be for all ranks? Or are we talking, a certain rank should have, the higher powered, rounds? Like, are we saying like Corporal up should be able to down people a little bit faster than someone using maybe an MXC or the pistol? Because I think if you're treating a pistol like a, 7.62 round, it's a little bit like...
Right.
It wouldn't make as much sense, but I think something that has a lot of range, I can understand it working like that.
Right. If it could be coded as, the gun itself, then sure, but I'm not sure if it's coded to the gun or the ammo.
Yeah, so I think you'd have to include MXC then if that's the case.
Right.
Now, you guys, I haven't had a lot of problems with these rounds, but I don't play as much cop as you guys probably do. My normal thing has been like 3 shots to somebody, but like I said, I haven't played a lot, so I haven't gone against really big gangs. I don't know generally how many it's been taking for you guys, but I haven't had any problems with them. Generally, it's 1 to 3 shots is what I've been dealing with.
One of the biggest reasons why I put that up there is because a lot of times we'll be situated in particular scenarios, Kavala, give or take, we're chasing suspects around the corner, and we're within 5 meters of them, running in circles with them, exchanging firefights, and as many rounds as it takes, like I said, it only takes about 3 to 4 rounds before we're dead, and that happens 9 out of 10 times. In other scenarios, you have officers setting up for lines of shots, from maybe 6 to 800 yards, and that's where the tasers don't really come into effect, because you have the perfect aiming, you have the sights, so they're down a lot faster. So we did a little testing. And we had a test with the GA vest and the tactical vest, and you don't have time in that heat of moment where you get two of these guys setting up, for a shot. You got to be quick on your feet. So when we test with the PO7, it took 7 shots straight into the chest, and both the guys were tased, but with the MXC it was 3 shots.
Okay, so right now it seems like your problem is mainly with the pistol then, right? Because, I mean, if it's tasing in 3 shots with, an MXC, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. If it takes me 3 shots with 762 to kill a cop, I feel like we need an equal playing field here where the cop should also have to hit me, a couple amount of times in order to down me.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, it would be the PO7.
Okay. Virus, you want to chime in on it? It sounded like you had something to say.
I was going to say that I think the first time I noticed this, I was in Sofia. I distinctly remember it. It was my first time playing cop since the wipe. The guy was on a go-kart. He ran me over. He got out, looked at me, and tried to, he just looked at me, asked him to step out of his vehicle. He didn't. And so I shot him in the chest. He had no gear, fresh spawn, and it didn't even tase him. And I was like, what? I literally point-blanked him in, the chest to neck area. And I straight up said, outside of roleplay, how much health do you have? And he's like, I have 60. I'm like, what? If somebody has no vest, they should be getting 1 or 2 shot tased, in my opinion.
So I'm wondering if it's situational then, though, because I've had times where I've downed someone in a couple shots, but then I've also had one time where I actually sprayed a guy down, and almost almost all my shots missed, but they didn't. And I watched them all connect just fine.
You saw the blood.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's situational then.
The other day, Adam shot me in the head when I was on cop, and he was on cop, and it did 2 damage to me. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I went from 100 to 98 from being shot in the head.
It could just be a problem with Arma and bullets registering on certain points. You know what I mean? If that's the case, that can't be controlled. But did you have any of these kind of problems post wipe though? Were those an issue before then too, or no?
No, this was post wipe when he shot me in the head. But I just think that right now at least, there's been a lot less cops playing at certain times, so it's literally impossible to win any engagement if your gun is just inherently weaker than theirs. Before, I could do so much more on my own, and now it's literally you can't, because you lose the complete element of surprise by, emptying 4 shots directly in the chest on somebody, and then their friend just turns around and has the advantage.
Yeah, but
I feel
isn't a cop one tasing though a little bit OP? If I can run around and just single dink every single person, it's it's a RoboCop.
The way it is right now, it is literally if me, Adam Damos, and one other person did a fed, we could probably 4 on 16 the cops easily. It's that they're that weak.
Sad. I think the problem though is you compare yourself to certain people. The group that you just mentioned is really good. You guys are really experienced when it comes to Arma.
I know, but I'm just saying in general, before with 1-shot tasing, you actually had to be smart about it. Now you can just play like an idiot and have success because the cop guns aren't as good.
Oh, I mean, it's more fair though that they're not as good. No one liked the fact that they could get 1 tase. Maybe you did, but I don't know a single other person that really liked getting hit with 1 bullet.
It forces you to play smart because you expect it. So
a cop shooting you a click away with 1 bullet isn't really on an equal playing field though. No.
No, but if you expect it, then it's not as big of a deal, and it forces you to play around it. Now it's when you're a cop, you literally don't know what you're going to get. It's literally you could shoot a guy 6 times, he might not go down. You could shoot a guy 1 time, he may go down.
So if he was able to make it where it was 3 shots every single time, 1 to 3 shots, never more than 3 shots, would you be happy with that, or do you want cops to be able to one-hit, tase people again?
I mean, I don't think it was honestly that OP back then. The cops, in my opinion, if the rebels outnumber the cops should never win. You know what I mean? But it was possible before. Now it's not. before there was a little bit of a skill factor. Now it's literally like impossible just sheerly based on the firepower of the weapons.
Well,
It's a numbers thing.
Yeah.
Rebel A has more than Cop B, and it's just, oh, hey, I took down this one rebel, but there's still 5 others versus your 2 cops.
But
yes.
just because, though, that there's more rebels than there are cops, that doesn't mean you should make cops have, be a hell of a lot stronger than the rebels, and it's just an unfair
Right.
game at that point. And you said before that, when it was like a one-hit down, you had to play smarter for the rebels. Now the rebels don't have to play as smart because, it's more of an equal playing field. Wouldn't you say the cops have to learn how to play smarter now, too? They got to adapt to the situation.
It was before it was an equal playing ground because the majority of the experienced players, the hardcore players, they weren't really, exaggerating the OP-ness of the weapons on the forums. It was the inexperienced ones. It was the ones that were fairly new to the game that were like, hey, what the hell? How come I got tased? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, in all honesty, in my opinion, I think initially it was evenly balanced. But, since after the wipe, since it's been reduced by 2.5, the damage is just, and the ratio between, the APD units versus civs is like maybe 3 to 1, or it could be like 5 to 2 or 5 to 3. It's it's not a even level anymore. It's just more so on the civ side, aside from everything else.
No, I think the only issue I had with tasers previously is like you could shoot somebody in the foot and one shot tase them. I think that's an issue. But I think that aside, if you like shoot somebody in the chest, they can pretty much one shot you anyways at the same or 2-shot you at the same point, but their gun is more accurate and is a greater caliber. So
We're referring to rebels.
yeah,
I've never shot a cop 2 times in the chest and had him die. I always had to shoot him 3 to 4 times in the chest. The vests on them are a lot stronger
probably
than we
just
have.
decent.
That's the thing, though. You guys have to put that into play for most things now. Now, Talon, you said that with before the wipe, people were more of a equal playing field, and that the people that were complaining about the tasers were people that are unexperienced and new. I was an advocate for tasers needing to be nerfed a little bit since the whole entire time. I would like to agree with you guys, but I literally can't because no matter what situation I was in, no matter what kind of gun I had, I was always hit one time and I was down. Regardless of where I got shot, that was always the outcome. And it's like even if I get the jump on the cop and I shoot him twice before he can shoot me once, 98% of the time that cop turned on me and just one hit down me. So I literally can't agree with that. They were better before wipe.
There's one time back before me and you really knew each other, Warfare. I don't know if you remember this, but we were chasing you in a Hummingbird back when I was still a corporal. You were in a 50 cal.
I remember this 100%. I bitched my ass off on the forums about this.
Yeah.
I got so much hate.
You basically shot down a Hummingbird. I landed it, and we kind of scattered. I moved up on the right. Somebody else was over on the left, and I just sat there. You started shooting, and then I saw you, and I just bam, one shot tase.
In the back, I was one hit tase. I was so mad because it's like I'm full health. There's no reason that I should be going down right now, and it happened. And I shot down the medic's helicopter too in that situation. I didn't know it. I thought it was you guys, and the medic was flying around too. I got yelled at for that, even though it's like, why are you flying in this area? Like I don't know who the hell's who. But yeah, that was when the whole like me bitching about tasers being really OP. That's when that situation happened for me.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing with tasers was cops need to also be accurate just like civs do when it comes to killing somebody. There's no reason that they should have to get that one lucky shot in order to down someone. There should have to be some skill involved. If they can hit me twice, I'd be fine with that too. I'm not saying we need 5 shots to down someone, but I definitely think they need to at least hit me twice before I'm going to go down. That way I know that it wasn't just some lucky 900-meter shot that just happened. So
I think I'm just going to say that I think the way the game is scaled right now is really bad for the cops, but particularly because it's not balanced relative to the big gangs. And I think the gun the cops have needs to be balanced compared to their greatest opponent, because those are the people who you're going to be fighting most often in Federal Reserves and jailbreaks, and it's not realistic for them to expect 5 to 10 cops to go up against, anywhere from 10 to 15 civs with better weapons, the positioning advantage, and somehow win with non-lethal rounds. I don't think that should be is at all realistic expectations. So, like right now,
realistically, cops aren't going to come in with tasers anyway.
Realistically, they're not going to have waves either.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying based on the game, like, just for example, there was an MC Federal or jailbreak the other day, and literally I witnessed Adam tase like 10 to 15 people, and it didn't even matter because just like, first of all, the number of shots, he literally ran out of ammo, and not to mention the fact that cuffs were just randomly breaking on people. So it was just like, it's literally unwinnable.
Is it really is it a problem with tasers or is it a problem with rules then? Because if it's like right now you're basing all of your opinions off of cops fighting big gangs, but you gotta remember though, there's always going to be all those little Tommies running around with their rooks, and you got to be fair to
But
them
that's
too.
what the game needs to be scaled towards.
It doesn't though,
because
not everyone has that money.
That's what you're fighting.
But you're fighting everybody. You're not fighting one gang the whole entire time. You know, this isn't Wasteland. It's not gang versus cop. You know, you have civilians too that do their own little thing, and you're expecting everyone to have the guns to fight the cops. Not everyone has those. I don't even buy anything that's bigger than a PW because I don't want to waste my money on it. When I play, I do the little money I can get, but I'm not like the big gangs that can sit there and pull in millions of dollars by doing the runs because they have those numbers. Now, if you're basing everything off them,
it's not even expensive though.
But it's not expensive to you, but it's expensive to someone that might only have 200K. Like, if
you can kit out with a Katiba for like 100K now, and
well, that's donator perks too.
Yeah, and that's still 100K that I would rather put on something else.
If you're not scaling the game towards the big gangs, then you're literally just screwing the cops, and that's why people aren't playing right now. I've been watching the number of people playing cop during the weekdays, and it's way, way down because it's like they can't do anything. It's literally like how you roll up on a red zone. There's like 4 dudes there. You could have 5 cops. You just get wiped because your guns are literally that bad now.
That's it. It's the majority of the frustrations. Especially with the cops that I play with on a daily basis. It's the scenarios, the red zones, illegal red zones. It's just, oh my god, I can't believe how many shots I got in this guy and he's not down. How can he kill me? And it's happening 99% of the entire time, and it's just it just doesn't boost any morale. It just discourages them to play as cop anymore, and it's been happening a lot lately, a lot recently, every single day, and these guys down there, they've seen me play every single day, from deputies to POs, and the corporals. It's just a huge frustration, and so the ratio of the particular cops are getting lower and lower now.
So
you have to outnumber the rebels so hard to actually succeed.
I don't think that's true. You guys are basing it off of what now, though? You're saying that not many people are playing cop as they were before, but before, that was when the wipe happened. The numbers spiked up when the wipe happened. That's because everybody wanted to play, everyone wanted to have fun. Now, if you look before the wipe, I think you're going to have the same exact numbers of people playing cop as they are now. And a lot of things that are into consideration, though, is the fact that people are losing their weapons as cops still. That's also another reason why they may not want to play. I have friends that will lose 5 or 6 weapons when they play cop, and it's like, why the hell would they want to play at this point?
I didn't want to bring this up until we talked about Ghosthawk stuff, but if you look at what the wipe did to cops versus rebels, okay, let's just look at this. Okay, rebels get Titans. They got their guns cheaper. They have a war zone that, this can transition to the Ghosthawk. They have a war zone that we cannot enter unless we chase them. Now they're making it much more difficult to go into rebel outposts. So all of a sudden, we are severely limited in where we can go, as we were before.
You're not limited though.
You're giving. So you nerf the cop weapons. You nerf the money that a cop makes. You make it basically so more people are bounty whoring just to so they can afford to reinsure their vehicle or buy their gun back when they lose it, and that's where you end up, is people don't want to play because their gun sucks and they lose their gun.
Okay, so it sounds like what they need to do is, one, they should lower the amount it takes, the amount of money it takes to buy vehicles. R&R, they get theirs extremely cheap. I don't know if they insure theirs cheaper or if it's, I guess it would be because it's percentage based, right? So they would pay a lot less for insuring. Cops don't make as much money now, so they need to base that off of R&R as well. R&R probably will make more money than a cop would just by playing throughout the day because everyone wants to get revived. Make the
10K a revive.
A revive, yeah. So
but if you send somebody to jail for 100K, we're only getting 10K.
Exactly. So make the vehicles cheaper for people to buy and to insure them. If people aren't losing their guns anymore, they're only buying it once. So your instance of them buying them, rebels buying their guns cheaper, it's like that's true. But if the cops aren't losing their weapon, they're only buying it once compared to the rebels having to buy it every single time they die if they don't get revived.
I'm just saying on like a pure economy scale on top of the like the feature scale. So like R&R got a huge incentive to play. It's like, wow, everyone's going to request revives. They get their guns back. You know, now air responders can go into red zones, maybe even heavy responders. It's like they're getting all this cool stuff. And what are they doing for cops? Oh, harder to go to rebel outposts now.
But it's not harder. It's the same exact rules it was before. It's just you guys were figuring out ways to go around, you know, the rules and kind of doing what you needed to do. It wasn't stated before that you couldn't, you know, that you had to have a vehicle, you know, ground unit, but, you know, now it's more stated that way.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't stated, so it was easier to do. So, in a sense, they're making it harder to do stuff that you could previously do, and then they're making your gun worse on top of making it so you make less money, and the vehicles are ridiculously expensive.
Well, I mean, you can't really put the R&R into the equation here because they're not having the issues that they have with cops. I mean, the rules are you don't kill R&R, so...
No, I'm saying,
in
terms of buffing roles, like civs and R&R it's way more incentive to play than
on
cops.
An economical scale, let's go ahead and put the overall picture here, okay? So we got, you know, you get your standard PO, you know, and this guy he's in against, you know, a 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 or 1-to-1, and you know, let's assume, you know, like everyone here, you know, if the taser damage has been reduced, this guy dies, he respawns, and then you know his gun is gone. So he has to go back and, depending on the tier, buy out $160,000 for another MXC, or 146, depends on what kind of tier you have to go back out there. But guess what? The civs chopped his vehicle. And then, you know, they chop the vehicle. Now he doesn't have a vehicle. He's no good insured. But because the economy is based as the way it is for the cops now, that, you know, they have to really have to make money only by their paychecks, and whatever 20% of the, you know, they get from the bounties that they receive, should they apprehend a suspect if successful. So, yeah, the economy has been really inflated for the police regardless. So on top of the tasers being reduced damage. You know, so there's a lot of factors into that, which, you know, a lot of the senior, you know, APD or, you know, a lot of the officers, you know, they're really discouraged about playing versus the new guys that we see coming up there and the new kids that are up there that are mainly there because they, you know, maybe it's potential kudos, more minutes, getting the promotion. A lot of it's down for, you know, showing what they've got, you know, motive.
But see, I think the problem though is you guys keep bringing the fact that, you know, cops have to pay more for their weapons every time they lose them. You know, they have to keep buying them, and the fact that they have to pay more for their vehicles every time they lose them. Make the vehicles cheaper, make it so they can actually try to get a fix on that bug for why the weapons are being lost. It's not that bad. I don't see how it could be that bad for the cops.
I'm just saying in terms of like what the incentive to play each role.
RP.
With this patch,
that's the incentive.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is the overall incentive has gone way down because it's just a ton of headaches. Like the other day, 45-minute jailbreak with MC, and it's like we're playing like 5-7 versus 17 with nerfed guns. Okay, how is that remotely fun for any one of us?
Why are they having a 45-minute Fed Rob?
Well, that's another topic of discussion.
It's the cops' problem then. Like I said, I understand you guys wanting to fix the guns. It's the fact that if you're hitting people 6 times and not going down, I understand. I still think 2 is more than enough. It shouldn't be back to 1 hitting. And if they can fix the bug for the weapons and make the vehicles cheaper, I don't think it would be that bad to play cop. You're not losing as much money anymore. Personally, the way I'd like it for cop vehicles, I don't think that they should lose them. I think they should be able to be chopped, but I feel like they should get them back still. It's like, why would you have to pay for the vehicles when you're not making as much money anyways? That makes total sense to me.
These perspectives are coming from officers that play every day, Monday through Sunday, from 8 in the morning until 4 p.m. on a daily basis. And so, you know, like Virus, he plays, I think, as much as I do, or in fact, Clemenza. You know, I mean, we've been playing cop, and you guys see me playing cop. And I practically don't sleep. I work at home, and we play cop from morning to night every single day. So, you know, I mean, you know, I'm not saying anything warfare, but I haven't seen you lately.
No, I don't play cop that much anymore. But it's the fact that even when I do play cop, though, I don't experience the problems that you guys experience. Like,
right. So what I'm saying is, why not just commit a little bit of time? Just a suggestion. just commit a little bit of time, maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, just to get a feel for it. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I just because I don't play as much as you guys as me, and I don't, that me playing a hell of a lot more is gonna make me experience the same
Oh, I
problems.
know, I know. I'm
If
not
you
saying
guys are
don't
having
play
these
as
issues,
much.
I'm just saying if you guys have these issues, it might be just something you're having an issue with and not somebody else. It's like if one person has one opinion doesn't mean someone else can have the same opinion. Now, you guys having problems with tasers, I personally don't. I think they're fine as they are.
Well,
Me playing cop isn't going to change that.
Well, I have more than 15 officers that have the exact same opinion me and Virus have.
Is it possible that they're just not as good with shooting the weapon now? It's before they only had to get one shot to down somebody. Now it takes a little bit more skill to actually down someone versus just getting that lucky one shot.
No, because 90% of the scenarios within these officers are within close quarters combat where you can't take the time to having to aim at them. It's the heat of the moment.
Wow. It doesn't even matter if you down them because, like, literally, it is 100% a trade every single time in close quarter combat now, at the very best, unless the person is off.
That's how it should be, though.
I can attest to the trade now. I went. This was last night, I think it was. Me, Grandma Gary, and Goldberg. We went and did a fed. A couple cops responded to it, and at one point, I traded with, I think it was 3 Rip. I had a P-Dub, he had his MXC. And then I got up, I healed myself, I ran up on Jorvis, same thing. We traded again. They should have taken me down a lot faster than I would have been able to kill them with the P-Dub, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, the PDW is better than the cop weapons are now, in my opinion. It's actually kind of funny. Like, literally...
They have no recoil.
Well, it has no recoil, but aside from that, it's just like, even if you healed and were on 75 HP, just because the way tasers are now, it would still take 2 or 3 shots to down them, which is kind of ridiculous. Because before it was like, if you hit somebody, I mean, I know Warfare, you're saying it happened 100% of the time. It didn't. There were times you would hit someone and they would flinch. But if you tased somebody and they got back up, the next time you shot them, it was 100% they were tased. You know what I mean? Like, you were on 75, it was guaranteed you were one-shotted. And I think that's fair because that's more strategic in the sense that, like, if you're not going to take the time, to take a medic hostage or whatever else, you should be punished for that, and you should be punished for getting tased the first time.
See, I can agree. Like, I literally, every time I played before as a Civ, I never experienced this shit where I got flinched on. I mean, I've never been, every time someone hit me, it was always a one hit, and I've always had the bad luck with that, and that's why I've always pressured people to, vote up against the changing the tasers, is because I've always experienced the one hit, and I've never was like you guys where I've been hit multiple times and survived. I've just never had that kind of luck, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you've also mentioned that maybe it's the officers that need to up their aiming or up whatever they need to up to make sure the tasers do effect. But just what you just said right there. Let's go ahead and go on the flip side. You're saying that you get tased after maybe 1 or 2 shots. Well, also same thing, vice versa. Also maybe might be the player too. The player's got to just make sure that they don't get tased.
That has me getting hit one time and going down has nothing to do with what I'm doing. It has to do with that if they hit that one lucky shot, then I'm going to go down. And you made the statement before that if they go into a red zone, cops do, they don't have the time to aim in and make a good shot. So before, were cops just running in and just spraying people down, just trying to get that one shot? It all comes back to that, is the fact that maybe people aren't just being accurate with their shots anymore, and they're not trying to actually either go for a headshot or just trying to actually be accurate with their shots. They're just trying to spray somebody down.
From the little bit of Civ that I've played since the wipe, I literally just play like a complete idiot when I'm near the cops because it doesn't matter. I know that I have this safety net now that they're never going to one-shot tase me.
Exactly.
So I just run around like an idiot and just CQC them. At the very worst, I'm trading. I remember one of the days I was playing, I hit a fence. I was on 50 HP. Nick shot me twice. Nick 5523 shot me twice through my car, didn't tase me, and I just ended up trading with him when he came around the front of my car. And I was like, wow, this is terrible. That was the first thought that went through my mind. This is not fair at all.
It's also possible, though, that whenever he edited something with the damage with the gun, something happened in regards to registration and all that kind of stuff. Because if you guys are saying you've sprayed people down, though, and it seems like they're not really connecting, or if they are, they're just not going down, maybe something got messed up with the gun and it's just not registering like it's supposed to, or the damage for that round when it hits them isn't registering like it's supposed to. People brought up before about the Ghosthawk taking isn't 3+ Titans to actually take it down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of depends. I got hit by 2 Titans one time and I got wrecked. Kind of. I put it in auto hover and I still spiked into the ground. I don't know. Maybe I just suck. But
yeah, I don't know. Everyone's bitching that Titans aren't as strong when it comes to the Ghosthawks. I haven't experienced it. I haven't been a Ghosthawk. Post.
I can speak from experience on this one. I was literally chasing the Squirtle squad down into the war zone. We had been opening fire on them. Stealth hits me with 1 Titan. I go down. We get it repaired and just get back up in the air. We didn't have to, but then we took another one. So that's 1. We took a second one. After that second one, we started getting out of there, and we got hit by a third one, which it put us on the ground to have to repair. But
it didn't blow you up or anything?
It didn't blow us up. We didn't have to refuel. We were pretty much out of fuel, but with the way the Ghosthawk fuel works, there's so much fuel. Yeah, it didn't matter. We would have been able to get back to Kavala without a problem.
I got you. I don't know. We beat the Tazer topic to a pulp. We're not going to actually get a consensus on this of whether it needs to be fixed or not. I think it's something that Poseidon will just have to go on the dev server. He's going to have to try it out, see for himself if that's how he wants it to work, and if that's how he wants it to work, I don't know if there's much we can do about it. If he realizes something's wrong, it's possible that he'll look at his code and figure out, what might have, happened in the, when he did it. Ghosthawk, though, I definitely, if it's taking 3 Titans to actually down the bitch and actually get people to get on the ground with it, I don't know if it's something that can be fixed unless he can somehow code it specifically where Titans do more damage to the Ghosthawk than they would to something else, because if it's not actually dropping its fuel, isn't it supposed to drop it to 20%? Is that what it is?
It's 18.5, and then I guess the way it works is it's dropping in an additional 18.5%, not taking it the rest of the way out. However, I'm not sure how it was supposed to be coded, but I think that's how it's working right now.
Yeah, it's supposed to take it down a certain amount.
You take it down a percentage base, but if you take it down another percentage base, you're never going to run out. You're still going to have fuel.
Yeah, I don't know why. I keep thinking that it's supposed to drop it to 20% fuel. I don't know if I'll try to find it, but I think that's what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
Moose is probably a better pilot than me, but from the times that I've been Titan, I feel like it depends on where the Titan hits. I've had times where I just keep flying like nothing happened, and there's other times where I'm spinning out of control after 1 Titan. I really have to try hard to get control of it. Again.
Oh yeah, it does take out after the second one. It will take out your tail rotor.
No, even after the first one, I'm saying
it
depends.
That's
what I'm saying. It depends on where you get hit. I think.
Yeah.
Because I've been hit sometimes, and I'm literally just start spinning, and I have to gain altitude and then just lower collective and dip down and get speed to recontrol it. So, I think right now it's more of a deterrent. If you're actually looking to shoot down a Ghosthawk, you're better off with the 50 cal, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But it's definitely, if you get hit once, you're not coming back. You're gonna go land. If you get hit twice, which is more than likely gonna happen if they have to, then you're definitely gonna land. But 1, you might get a little bit further from them. 2, you definitely have to land within 30 seconds to a minute. Otherwise, it's trouble.
Have you guys been shot by a Titan in any other vehicle? I guess a Hummingbird. Has that?
It instantly takes out your main rotor, and you go down.
We shot one down on the island.
You can still land it, though? Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Adam landed it the other day when he got Titaned.
He's not even that good of a pilot. Oh, so he's like a boss pilot or something, or what's the deal with him?
No, he's not. He's not even that good of a pilot. He got Titaned, but it was like a head-on Titan. He wasn't going that fast. I think it would depend on how much speed you had.
I got you, okay.
I've been shot with when I was in a Mohawk, and I think that's kind of the equivalent to a Ghosthawk in some sense, but I think it's relatively the same. I think it's I don't know, maybe one, 2, and then maybe, if you're careful with it or so. It's pretty strong against a Mohawk. Not that strong, just got shot.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't experienced it yet. I haven't shot at one. I haven't actually been in one, so I don't know what the deal is with it,
if you were chasing somebody in the Ghosthawk and you got Titaned, you would not be able to continue pursuing them. So I think in that sense, it's a deterrent to get you off their
get,
tail,
get
I
the
guess.
fuck away from me, basically, and try to get away.
And that's the way it's been used. Like, I've chased MC a couple times. I've chased Bourbon, and when I get, I'll get the message that I better pull off or I'm going to get Titan. And then when I do get Titan, that's the point at which they pull off and they get away. So I guess
like a taser
it's kind
for
of
a Ghosthawk.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of, your get out of jail or get out of being shot down for 120k card.
Yeah, kind of chances to get away and hope to God that you don't come back and find them. I got you. That's something that makes sense to me. I don't think it should take it down either. I think it needs to be, because before it was like a one hit usually, except when I would shoot them, I'd usually hit the tail of a fucking thing and it wouldn't even take it down. So I never had the luck, I guess. I don't know. I something that sounds fine to me. If it, you got to shoot them, twice to blow them up or one to just get them away from you. I think that's working like it should then. Well, let's talk about some RP training. So Ares and McDilly, I believe, are the two that are hosting it, right? And I don't have the date off the top of my head, but what do you guys think about it? Do you want more RP trainings? Do you think it's not necessary? What do you think?
It helps out a lot. When it was first initially rolled out, it was with Ares and Dilly, and the very first time that it rolled out, it was very productive. A lot of questions were asked, a lot of answers were being said, and a lot of people learned from that. And then as it progressed, it just kind of went a little bit more on the casual end of things where, for example, the last one that I was in, I missed one, but I was in the other two. But the last one I was in, everybody had their chance to RP from it, There weren't different scenarios. It was just more of, can they RP in this scenario, in this RP session versus the other one where it was teaching how to RP. It was teaching in what scenarios and what cases. And the last one it was, can you RP and can you demonstrate that? So
I think the most recent one wasn't as good because he kind of had us pair up and then just like RP out a situation, one person explaining what it is to the other. And I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but I think that the best way to go about it is to like just talk about situations and see like how somebody would handle it.
Exactly.
Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like
so, like they pull them up. They say this is a situation. Role play from that instead of kind of like having two like
not
equal
even,
ranks.
Not even
whatever.
that, but like just more in like an open forum type thing where you'd be like, somebody's complaining, screw this server, screw that server, and like how would you handle that type thing? And you'd be like, you'd say you don't know what a server is. Like, is that something that you have at your computer at home? That kind of thing.
So I think what would be cool in doing one of these things is if they had like a random person that would come up and kind of like start a situation that no one expected. Maybe a random civ just comes and lands inside the bitch and starts, starting problems or something.
That was the first one. That's what happened.
Was that what they did?
That's kind of what happened in the first one. But I still feel like you don't necessarily learn that much from it. Maybe I've just been around for too long, but
in the first one, the higher ups, the superiors, were demonstrating how to role play when a suspect is role playing back, and how to handle players that weren't initiating RP, and how not to become a robot when you're an officer, processing a suspect. And they demonstrated that.
So you think they should continue to have these? Is it something that should be mandatory for certain ranks, though? Like if you become a deputy, should you have to do it? Optional?
The only thing, I only made it to the first one. The second one I missed. I was at the gym. But the first one I attended, and it was a handful of corporals and then just a boatload of patrol officers.
There's no deputies.
There was no deputies, and that kind of bugged me because I feel like if anybody needs the training, it's
probably
deputies.
them. Now, is it something that they should do a basic RP training thing when they actually recruit these people? You guys, when you recruit people, they pass the test, you do a training. Should a basic little RP training be done at that point, just to make sure that they kind of understand the basics of how to RP? Or is
I'll tell you about what I do when I'm training someone. We get through with the basics, get their gear, get their gun, whatever. And then when we're done, sometimes I'll have some random civ who, I had talked to previously come in and, bring some drugs, bring an illegal weapon or something. And I'm like, hey, that guy's got a legal weapon. You guys should go get him, And I'll see what they do. And after they're done, I'll be like, hey, this is what you did right. This is what you did wrong. You should have done this or that. without getting too much details.
But
Yeah,
it's still basic RP, so that's still
Right.
good though.
I feel like it might be better to just make it like a blanket of like how to handle civilians, like training.
But
know what
you're
I mean?
not always going to
Because-
deal with civilians though, and I've had times then when you have to like.
Well, I mean, you can cover like there could also be like how to handle R&R. There could be like stuff where they like teach the cops like how to respond to certain like situations. You know what I mean? Just in general, like RP is important, but I feel like a lot of the times like some people don't even necessarily have very basics of like how to handle like when somebody's acting a certain way. You know what I mean?
Basically, like when they're
like-
just like yelling at you or just saying shit that
Yeah,
they
like
shouldn't be saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall,
You know what I mean?
generally,
Virus, you're a poop cat. You're a poop
Yeah,
cat.
right. You're a
You
shit.
go pig.
You're a shit bag.
generally overall, it should just teach the RP aspect of it and the do's and don'ts when you're an officer on duty.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I kind of mean. It's like obviously some people still don't know this. Like, don't cuss at civs. Like simple stuff like that that doesn't like necessarily come through in training. Like, I don't know if you talk about that, Moose. I did a training the other day, and it's like you realize there is so much stuff you want to say, but it's like you're gonna keep them there for like 10 hours. You know, by the time you get to the end of it, and it's pretty much like it becomes more of the on the job learning for them. But at the same time, it's like this stuff could be covered in these kind of sessions. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Where-
I'm glad they're doing them though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's helping a lot of people out. People that are actually knowing how to roleplay. It's good that they're going to them and helping those out that might not know how to roleplay, and everyone's getting kind of like their own little answers. Before, when I played a lot of cop, I noticed everybody kind of had like the same roll down like role play. Whenever they would process somebody, it'd always be the same exact speech they give them, and it wouldn't be like a robot speech, but it'd be role played out, but it'd always be the same thing you hear every time. So hopefully people start mixing their stuff up and learning new things to say instead of focusing on the same old thing every time. If I get processed by a cop, I hope that my experience the first time is different than the second time. I don't want them to be exactly the same. So hopefully this helps.
I
with
think
it.
that's just more of something that you get used to, though. Like, I mean, at first, I remember when I was a deputy or a cadet way back when, that, I mean, I pretty much just had a script. And then, like, the more and more you play, you kind of like, oh, that's kind of like a weird way of someone, like, you hear somebody else process and you kind of adapt your own way. And then you just go with that. And then somebody else hears your way that you've adapted and they adapt something off of that. And eventually everyone just kind of, the more time you play, the more different kind of way you'll have of putting it. So
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
a
I hope
script,
people are different. Yeah, right. A script. You heard that too?
Yeah,
I had a script. I had a little
Sounds real
notepad
fishy.
on my other monitor, and
like I actually wouldn't be surprised if a deputy had written up like a script that said that
the exact little thing they say.
I'm going to be
for each
giving you
little
2
response.
chances to pay your ticket today.
No,
If
I
you
was alluding
refuse,
to
you
a
will go
hack
to jail.
virus.
Yeah, he was
I
talking about
alluding
a
to
hack. He was
hacking.
talking about a hack. Yeah. I had a
Okay.
script running, and All right. So RP training is a good thing. We're all in favor for it. We all think it's great, good, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh yeah, and just one thing I wanted to say on that is like with the amount of R&R rules, I was kind of commenting this on the forums that I think it wouldn't be bad if there was like training dedicated to how to handle the R&R in certain situations, because it seems like they really want to make it hard for the cops. So
Like they're against
Pre-
you, basically.
Pre-wipe, I saw some crazy stuff come from R&R, man.
yeah,
I got
so
sick really bad one week, and I was still playing cop, but, I had the terrible cough. I didn't sound like me. And, all of a sudden, the medics quarantine us in the base, Ebola or whatever. They would not let us out. They had their HEMT blocking the way. We tried to RP the best we could out of it. We still had to get out there and catch the bad guys, but it was just a pain in the butt.
yeah, like I've straight up seen, now this was a while ago, but I saw a R&R member, not mentioning any names, drive up to the Federal Reserve in his helmet and block the West Gate with his helmet.
Mm.
I mean, like, you see troll stuff like that all the time, and it's like, you gotta, deal with it. And now, specifically with hostage situations, like, I don't really think anyone can translate Hades' exact ruling of the, how APD is supposed to handle that, but, I mean, that's where I think this kind of training could help, convey, like, a situation where that would be useful to know. Like, an actual, like, practical example of it, not just reading it.
Yeah. Because Hay doesn't really deal with R&R now, though, right? Because he stepped down. He's no longer really
No,
involved
but
in this
I
sort of
mean-
thing.
It's in the rule update, so.
Okay.
I guess him and John McClane talked about it. So
Hey, I just saw something in chat that looked like legit posted that, so that I think that's Detective Payne, and he's saying train certain POs or corporals to train new cadets and call them FTOs like in real life, and have them literally do everything together and teach the cadet. I would be for that. I do like that. Just saying.
Well, but we do that. Don't we do that on a daily basis when we're with them?
But yeah, he's saying have someone that's really experienced be the people that do it instead of it being like you don't want misinformation stuff going around. So if everybody is kind of like, allowed to do it, which I mean anybody can do it, but a lot of times misinformation goes around with it. And if you have people dedicated to training people and helping them out and letting them learn the ropes and stuff, then you know that with the information you're getting from that person is going to be correct, and it's a good thing to follow that person and learn what they're doing. I still think everybody should help each other out in simple things, but I like the idea of it. It makes sense to me.
that's why I feel like if it could be expanded to be like this RP or this session, we're going to be talking about how to deal with members of the R&R in this aspect. Then you have like a specific thing that people. Like, RP training is very general, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're really signing up for until you get there. So I feel like if, you said how to deal with an angry suspect, how to deal with a suspect who's broken server rules, you know what I mean? Like,
you want little how-to videos on each situation.
Yeah.
This is something that someone talked about before. I can't remember who said it, but someone wanted to break down the handbook and show a scenario for every single one of the things, like how, like, this section, what you should do if this thing occurs, what you should do if this occurs. If that's something you guys would want, I know there's a lot of people that are willing to actually do that and make videos for those and push them out. Virus, I assume since it's your idea, you wouldn't mind helping them with it. Basically, what I'm saying.
Another thing is that back to what that comment said: train certain POs or corporals. I mean, if you want them to, or if it's been okayed by the higher ups for that to happen, it should be corporals and higher, because deputies and POs are in the same category, right? They're not official cops.
Yeah, in training,
quote unquote. It's corporals and above that are the official cops. Deputies and POs, the POs are in the second stage of the deputies, where they're still in training, where they do more of the RP to get to that level and rank, right? So it would be the corporals and up.
Yeah,
but
right.
you still have POs that are. There are a few POs that are really squared away that can take part, in my opinion.
Then those people should be looked into getting a promotion to a corporal. If they're doing really good at something, they should be looked into. No reason to keep them at being a PO if they're being a corporal.
Right, and it all goes back down to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go for it. I'll wait a second.
Oh no, I'm just saying it. And it all just goes back down to that recommendation. If you see that particular PO that does it's 110%, or whatever the case may be to become that rank, then then that's where the recommendation comes in, or the acknowledgement from that, right? Those particular ones that are filtered from the ones that don't do that. So.
But you always remember, though, is that there's also times where it's possible the reason why you're not getting a promotion is because there's something you're continuously doing wrong. That was something we talked about like a couple podcasts ago, where it's like, maybe you're not going to get promoted to corporal because there's just one thing that you keep doing that they just don't think you're ready for corporal. And I think for that instance, I feel like they might need to just step forward and say, listen, Jeremy, you keep doing this wrong, and we're not liking it. Why don't you work on this, and then you got a chance at being somebody someday. That's what I think they should step up and let them know what they're doing wrong. So.
Well, isn't the floodgates to the corporal rank closed now, to where they all have the positions filled out?
Is that even a thing? Like, is there even a certain limit to how many you guys want?
I think the way we had described it is we're removing limits on there. But the thing is, you still got to prove yourself to get that spot.
Yeah,
you're not going to get it if you don't prove yourself that you're good.
So then I'm glad about that then. So
there was okay.
I'm glad that they're not going to have a limit, because that was a big thing before. It was like, oh, why should I try to be like really good at this if I don't have a chance to become a corporal? Right. There's no logic, in my opinion, why you would limit how many corporals you want when it's supposed to be that base cop rank. These are official cops.
There's always clamping. There'll always be clamping where it seems like at a certain rank people get promoted faster or don't get promoted fast enough, and that's just the nature of.
Well, I can understand
how
I can
managing
understand
that many people. So
I'm just saying though that I would never want to see a limit on the corporal rank. That's all I'm saying.
Based on the promotions thing, going back on that, is the way that I see to get promoted. One, you're deputy. I was getting ready to say cadet. But when you're a deputy, you should be learning all your basic rules. That's what you should focus on. When you get the rules down, you'll get your ride along. We ask you questions on the rules. We may throw in a role play question here and there, but basically we want you to know the rules. You'll get your promotion to PO. Then from PO, you know your rules. You should now be working on role play. You work on your role play, you get noticed. We see you doing stuff right. Bam, corporal.
People are always watching, and that's what people don't understand. Yeah, I mean, like they think that no one's watching, but
There's always someone
we proved
watching.
it tonight with Hades doing what he did. We were going around, me, Ham, Falcon, JPEG, and Nick, right? We were going around as the news team. Well, like they were like news team, friends of the news team.
I was a ride-along.
Ride-along, yeah. And it was us. We were going around, and we were sitting at the mushroom processor talking to a few people, tripping on shrooms. And Hades goes and he messages, who did he message?
T-Dog.
He messages T-Dog and tells him, Ham and Moose isn't a part of the news team. Feel free to pop them. Like, there's always somebody watching whether or not, it's you never know. So, always be on, always have 100%, do 100% all the time.
And it was funny because, we got our program that we could see chat and everything. And then I'm sitting here and, I wanted to see because, Joppel came in. I wanted to see if he, called him in through text or whatever. And I scroll up, I'm looking, and I see a message directly to him from Hades, and I couldn't help it but laugh.
So, point is, though, someone's always watching. I mean, not always,
Yeah,
but
the admins, they see chat, man. I can attest to that when I was in the helicopter with Moob that one night. Oh, God.
You goofed up, Moose. All you had to do, you should never go in that red zone, otherwise you can't comp your ban.
Yeah, but yeah, so people are watching. Just do what you got to do all the time, and don't fuck up, and you'll be fine. We'll talk about one final topic, and then we'll let everyone go. Flight training is something that Ace talked about. Did it ever even happen? Do you guys know, or has it happened yet?
It did happen.
Who attended it? Any of you guys?
I was there.
Moose and I went. Yeah.
All right.
I was EO when it was held, so I wasn't able to make it.
How-
I got corporal afterward.
How was it then? You give me your opinions on it.
I think that it's way too hard to teach people how to fly, honestly. Like, I know where Ace is coming from with this, and he wants people to be better pilots, but you have to be self-motivated to become a better pilot. And by holding this session, it's really just, like, a cluster of people. It's really hard to, like, organize. And, like, it seemed like it was...
The intentions
seemed
were
like
good?
a good idea,
Mhm.
but it's kind of hard to execute. And I feel like if you really wanted to become a better pilot, then they should just open up the dev server, give you like however much bajillion dollars, and then just get, the helicopter you want, get the maneuverability you want, and then practice in there without a risk.
Preach. All right, I agree 100%. When I read the fact that he was going to do training for flying, I was like, it's like if you wanted to be able to fly as a corporal, you need to do the training. And I was like, God, that's actually going to suck ass, because it's like I'm not a shit pilot, but I'm also not, I'm not a better pilot than Ace. So it's like, is he going to hold me to that standard where you got to be like a badass pilot in order to fly? Because I can get our asses on the ground, I can get us off the ground. I can land when I need to. And the idea itself, I was really like intrigued with. I think it's a good thing to train people to try to learn how to fly. But you're never going to get people to be as good as you. There's always going to be people better than you and worse than you. So
that's the big thing. I think he took it in as he wanted to teach the basics of how to get better, how to do this, how to do that, and I could see it helping. But like Virus said, you got to be self-motivated to go and practice this, go and learn this, because a lot of the stuff he talked about really helped out. I actually did learn a couple of different things, and I was streaming at the time, and my buddy Amish, he's one of the best pilots in frickin' Altus, I swear to God. He's like, man, if you got a Naga mouse, map this, and this to your mouse, do this. And from that, when I learned how to do that, it just became a whole lot easier with what Ace was saying. It helped a lot.
So yeah, there's stuff you can learn from it, and then there's things where it's like no one can really teach you how to do it. It's something you have to just practice. Personally, I'd always go on like the editor, and I'd try to fly on there. That's kind of how I learned how to fly, basically. But you're not going to have their maneuverability. Things aren't going to act the same because of it. I don't know how Carl did it, but he somehow got maneuverability working on his shit in the editor. I don't know what he did, but
I think the biggest thing is that like there are some people who can't fly, but it's like just doing that like I don't know how to really explain it, but like if it's not like an actual in-game scenario, then
It's not the
you
same.
know what I mean. Like it's not the same. Like I can't tell you how many times I had like those sketchy freaking landings in a hummingbird where you get shot out, it looks like you're gonna blow, and you like barely survive. Everything's full red, you have no fuel.
By the
And
way,
you can't replicate that in like just in practice. That's just something that you hope that your practice will help you, you know, adapt to that situation.
speaking of getting shot out of helicopters and landing and whatnot, how did you land that Ghosthawk virus? I want to know.
Which Ghosthawk?
The one where you got shot out of like 50 meters in the
Oh,
air.
when it's when it was water,
No,
when you died of water or
from
something.
dehydration.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Ghosthawk
Just
pretty
floats
much
to the
noses
ground.
into the ground. It doesn't explode.
It just floats,
Oh,
kind of
the
like floats
autopilot.
down.
That was more of a what the fuck moment.
We-
But
If you guys ever take the Ghosthawk, just fly really high in the air and then just turn the
Cut your
engine
engine.
off. Yeah, it for some reason that shit ain't gonna blow up. You know, I did it with Kratos so many times, and there's like no one on the server. We just start flying, we turn the engine off, and somehow we just like float down to the ground, no problems. Works perfectly fine.
Also, I just wanted to point out that one of the other factors to Ace's training, there were just a few corporals that really appreciated it, though. They were, pretty aspired by the guys that did know how to fly. They're like, well, I got to practice to learn to become that much better, too, as well.
I got you. I didn't show up. I was sleeping. I told Ace straight from the get-go. He's like, oh, yeah, it's at 4 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I ain't going to be awake. Sorry about that. But I'm
I
glad
think-
that people took stuff from it and they actually learned from it. That's really good,
I think, the other thing is I think that, like, obviously there were more advanced pilots there, and there were some not so advanced pilots, or some first timers even maybe.
And Artemis. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and like what you kind of see from it is like, it kind of puts you in like, for me, I don't consider myself that good of a pilot, and it made me realize how far I've come from when I started playing.
Yeah.
And I remember like going like 200 meters in the air, auto hovering my way down, just to get out of my helicopter.
Exactly.
And then, if you talk to an experienced pilot, like the person who taught me how to fly was Hollow Man, I had just adapted all of his settings, or just took all the settings off of him. And like once you find something you're comfortable with, just go with it and just keep practicing. Like if you don't want to practice, then you're not going to improve. And if you don't want to lose any money, then you're certainly not going to improve either, because there is definitely money
have that
lost.
risk factor in your head.
Yeah.
I use a stick, and I've crashed a couple of times, but I mean, the only thing I'm good for is doing orbitals. I can't really land.
You don't want to, if you don't want to spend the money, then probably best staying on the ground, because even the best pilots will crash from, maybe not that frequently, or get shot out by that random 50 cal.
There goes your 300K.
480 for a Ghosthawk. But
You wait,
God.
80? You mean 800?
no, 480K.
Oh,
for-
480. I just said 80. I was
for
like, you pay
Ghosthawk and
80,000 for a Ghosthawk? No wonder you fuckers are flying them all the time. Like, I wouldn't fly Hummingbird either. Well, that's all the topics we actually wrote down.
Did we talk about Ghosthawk rules?
Did we
Wait a
talk about them?
We didn't talk about.
No, we have touched on that shit. Okay, we'll talk about Ghosthawk rules then. Here we go. Have at it, Virus. Have at it, because you're the one that has the problems with it. So
No, I don't even necessarily have problems with it. It comes back down to just like, what are you doing for each role?
okay, so
And-
yes or no, Ghosthawk should patrol all the time. Like, if people want to patrol on the Ghosthawk,
Yes,
let them do it.
100% yes.
Is it-
100%
Okay,
yes.
hold on a
Wait,
second.
wait,
hold
wait.
on.
Let's get it reverse. Talender,
I
yes or no?
saw-
Talender, yes
no.
or no?
I don't have
Ghosthawk's-
a problem with it. Yes.
You have a problem with it. Moose, yes or no?
No problem with it
Man,
whatsoever.
fuck you guys. I have a problem with it. Okay, continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait, hold
Hey,
on,
I
hold on, wait.
saw the most ignorant post on the forums, and I'm going to call him out for it. And it was SP Bojo saying that we should fly around in hummingbirds until we get shot out and die, and then realize we need to pull out the Ghosthawk to go deal with them. What kind of role play would that ever be? Why would you take an unarmored helicopter when you have access to an armored helicopter? And why would you just jeopardize the lives of everyone in an unarmored helicopter?
Because I
Like
think
it made no sense to me.
what people understand when they're at is that their mentality, if they only play Civ, and I can understand why they do it, is they think that the Ghosthawk is supposed to be used like kind of like a SWAT team type thing, right? They are the armored patrol coming in, the heavily geared people that are supposed to wrap up a situation whenever it's needed. when there's people there that are clearly outnumbering and outgunning the regular cops. I'm kind of all for you guys only using the Ghosthawk in certain situations. Do I think that them bitching about you using it as much as you are now? I haven't had a problem with it. But
it's
I
not
also
like there's
haven't.
3 Ghosthawks on a server. There's like 9 people total who have access to them, many of which do not even play.
Well, yeah, but I want to add in something real quick. Okay, before the wipe, the newly appointed sergeants had the Ghosthawks. What were they doing the first 2 weeks? They were playing with the brand new toys, the brand new hunters, the brand new Ghosthawks. Even Dilly posted on the forums. That was all he did when he was on. He just ran his Ghosthawk until he was bored. And when he was
exactly
bored,
what I did.
Exactly. So,
yeah, I can understand that.
Fires is newly promoted. Grats to you. And then who else?
Gucci Man.
Gucci Man. And these guys had these brand new toys. And I'm not trying to downside you or anything, but you guys are playing with them, and I'm pretty sure when the time comes, you're gonna get bored and pop into those hatchbacks and just be like every other sergeant out there.
Most people, I find, honestly, like, if the Ghosthawk didn't exist, like, and I've been talking to like MC guys, bourbon guys, they're like literally like they want to fight the Ghosthawk. It's not like they're avoiding it. Like, it's a challenge. They want to go against it, and even like I think I was talking to Bourbon Tasha, and she's like, I didn't even know the cops existed on the at all until you got promoted, because if you're in Bourbon or MC, you spend a lot of time at Rebel Outpost, you spend a lot of time flying around. You can't stop them in a Hummingbird. You know what I mean?
I understand that.
There's a legitimate threat. If there's a Ghosthawk patrolling around, you can't just be hiding in helicopters all day.
So, my opinion towards the whole thing, I'm just going to get it out there, and then you guys can fight over why I'm wrong. I understand why people are irritated with Ghosthawk being out as much as it is. You play a lot. You guys admitted that you play a lot, so it's going to be out a lot more than someone that doesn't play as much. But I can also understand why it's out so much. McDilly, like I said, when he was promoted, he uses it a lot. We don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks when maybe you're sick and tired of using the Ghosthawk. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can understand, if you had it for a month or so, you'd probably get tired of using it, or you wouldn't use it as much. So I can understand that scenario itself. But if you're not a big gang, the Ghosthawk will fuck you over, right? If you're a big gang, you're not gonna have those problems. You might have 50 cal.
It's
you might have Titans.
No, it's really not even that. It's like
would you shoot?
People don't know how to play. I don't.
Wait a minute.
Honestly, I see so many people. And literally, they'll drive through a town. Say we're chasing a ground vehicle from a red zone.
I know you're gonna say get out. You're gonna say get out of the vehicle. Yeah, I got you.
No, they'll keep going. No, listen. They'll keep going through that town into an open field, and then we'll apprehend them there. Why not get out of your car and run into the town and hide in one of like the 25, 30 buildings? You know what I mean? Like, people just don't like have any like knowledge of how to play the game. I don't know how else to explain it. They think somehow, running away in a vehicle is like the best way to get away. It's not,
because maybe they're not, but maybe they're actually doing a drug run or something, right? And they're more inclined to actually.
You can carry it all on you at that point. You can carry all the processed stuff you have on you.
But if you have extra shit, it doesn't matter what the vehicle is. I'm saying it could be a Zamac or something. If you can't carry it all, maybe their idea is they want to keep it and they don't want to lose it. If you're just driving around murdering people and robbing people, obviously getting out your car and playing hide and go seek would be the better option. But if you're trying to actually get away from the cops, you want to actually keep whatever you have, you're going to try to outrun them. You're not going to just leave your vehicle and let them seize whatever they have inside of it.
Yeah, and that's part of the risk of being unprepared with a big truck out.
I think the deal is that making a complaint against the Ghosthawks, I feel like whoever is making the complaint, the argument holds no ground in the first place, because if you don't want to get chased and shot by a Ghosthawk, then don't fucking do drugs. Do legal stuff.
But what you're saying is that the cops, because they have a Ghosthawk, they're allowed to be more OP and they're allowed to control everything because they have that item or vehicle that's able to just say fuck. That's
you improvise, adapt, and overcome.
No, because you're saying that there's a Ghosthawk out, you shouldn't do any kind of drugs because you're just going to get fucked over by the Ghosthawk.
Then just go smaller and do an SUV or like. We have rules. But when there's a
Ghosthawk out for 8 hours because you're playing for 8 hours. Who the hell wants to sit there and run an SUV of drugs the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to come back to if there's someone that's really active on the server that's flying around in it, your experience is going to be totally different because of it.
Okay, so what I would do, if I had a house, like maybe 2 clicks from the drug.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Voice,
you just adopt a strategy to like.
Well, I was just going to say, I'll whip my binocs. I'll see that Ghosthawk fly above that cocaine field, and as soon as it leaves, I'm going to slap on my timer. I got 10 minutes to get in there and get out of there.
Unless they fly,
Right?
unless they fly somewhere in an area around it, and they see your ass, they're going to go on there after you.
Oh, true. I would have to wait about 2 clicks before they can go all the way out there, right? So, I'll prepare ahead. If I have a bounty, I go, hey, I got a bounty. Yeah, here you go. Pay it off so you don't pull me over for no reason. Go in there, pick my drugs. It's going to take less than 10 minutes. I take something small, hide it back in the town. There's no reason to pull me over. No probable cause. And yeah, like you said, maybe they'll swing back around and try to get me. But, by that time, I have nothing on me. I took care of my bounty. There's a slight
honestly,
you picked up my tilde, but you're not accurate enough to know whether or not I'm in the red zone.
Honestly, that's the thrill of playing Civ, though. Like isn't that why you play Civ? Is to get chased by the cops and like
I play Civ to make money.
No, but it's like, I've never understood this. Like, how is it fun to sit there hours and hours on end processing drugs with no risk? How is that fun?
Because
I've never understood that.
Because I'm there to make the money. I'm not there to actually do any kind of roleplay on Civ because I can experience Civ roleplay on another role.
I can remember back in the day, we had, and Moose might have been there for this. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe not, but it was Jendrak, Gary, for sure. Ace was definitely there as well, and they came in a Ghosthawk to cocaine processing. I was playing with some of the SGW guys. We had 2 Tempests and a Hemet, and we had about 5 people. I think it was an even firefight, but we're all pinned inside. That's like some of the most intense like moments you'll ever have on the server, and that's brought to you by the Ghosthawk. Okay. And looking back on it, it's like, wow, like that should happen way more often. There's something meaningful on the line. We were putting our gear at risk. We were putting all your vehicles at risk, and that's why you do it. I mean, do it for the experiences. And I feel like people are just so caught up in this win-lose, when more or less it's like, dang, like, I could have done this better next time, or I should have done this smarter. It becomes more like just being a sore loser because you got caught, when really it's not even about that.
Okay, would your opinion change if you were someone who couldn't fight against a Ghosthawk?
No.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
Not at all. You just have to play it smarter. You would pay off your low bounty ticket. You get, your firearm to protect yourself from a gang hideout or whatever it may be. Then you would just do an SUV run, and you'd play it smart.
Or you could do oil. Like I said, if the Ghosthawk is on, then switch to legitimate stuff, because if you don't do stupid shit, you're not going to get fucking caught by the Ghosthawk.
I think what you guys got to realize, though, is if you're someone who can't defend yourself against, big things, i.e. Ghosthawk,
then you
gangs,
ask the cops to help you.
Ain't no cop gonna help you run a legal item. I guarantee
we saved two Tempests.
One
day
day,
saved 2 Tempest fuels the other day who were doing an oil run. They asked for an escort. They were getting robbed by a Hummingbird. We ended up shooting down the Hummingbird, and they just thanked us.
I'm going to play on a random just name one day, and when I beg you for help and you don't come, I'm going to throw it back in your face, because I know you're not going to help.
Probably busy.
I know exactly you won't do it. It's you got those little P-dub kids, coming back to little Jeremy again. He can't defend himself against the Ghosthawk. He sure as shit can't defend himself against, Barban. It's just not going to happen,
Little Timmy.
Yeah, little Timmy over here, he's fucked, dude. Like, he's not getting out of it.
Yeah, but that's why you play the game, is because, like,
I play the game for money on Civ.
There's always an element, like, why do people feel like money should just be handed to them? Like,
I don't.
The economy is balanced by the Ghosthawk. It's true. You know how many, like, times I've chased, like, somebody who was wanted for $100K who can just pay their ticket? Instead, they decide to run, and they get shot down.
Why do they pay their 100K
balancing
tickets?
The economy.
Who are you arresting that has a 100K ticket that's willing to pay it? What gang are they in?
Tons of people.
What gang? Name the gang they're in right now.
Anyone who pays 2 hours. Anyone. No.
Yeah. Anybody in Bourbon, anybody in MC.
No.
You're literally.
Anyone who has played 2 hours a day since the wipe has at least $1 million.
Lies. Okay, I could play all I want. Every single time I try to run something, your ass would rob me. Okay, so I know it's not. I could play for 8 hours a day, and you'd still be there to rob me.
That's because you don't have the foresight to see them getting robbed.
Okay, hold on. Those 9% of players out there do not pay their full bounty if it's over $100. Because if you think of it this way, 9 out of 10 times they got a legal weapon, they got things they don't want to lose. Why would they want to go out with that $100,000 ticket if they're going to lose the items that go along with it and have to go rebuy all that stuff? So
I've seen a lot of people paying tickets recently. though.
Don't commit crime.
That's
What's
why.
it
That's
that
the whole point. They literally said they wanted it to be like, wow, if you kill somebody that is meaningful.
It doesn't mean shit
Like
if
if
you
you
kill
want
somebody.
to. It is
It
because
does not. $20,000, dude. It's not going to cost me shit to sit in
No.
jail for that.
No, it's not the point of cost. It's the point of you're wasting your time.
But I'm not though, because me spending in jail for one manslaughter is not even. I think it's 5 minutes. Like time got reduced so much. Isn't
Okay,
that like
you
30?
still lose your firearms and driver's license if you had them.
Who gives a shit about those? I'll go to Rebel and get.
You
a new
still
one.
have to respawn.
Okay, I'd have to run somewhere if the cops were to arrest me and I paid my ticket.
No, I'm saying like if you were in jail, you'd have to come out and respawn. 'Cause there's nothing.
Well, I got
Around
buddies.
there,
They'll
you
come pick me up. The fact is, though, is like you say, don't do illegal stuff. It's like, well, that's part of the fun. You know, you want to be able to actually do illegal things to have that chance of getting the stuff you want. If you're not
And you
running,
wanted, and the counter to that is that you're doing illegal stuff knowing that there's the potential you'll get caught. That's the risk. Just like you do
not
legal
that's
stuff
not a
knowing
thrill,
you don't have
though.
to worry about the. Yes, it is. That is the most intense moments you have on the server is when you are fighting the cops with something meaningful on the line.
No.
Nothing should ever be handed to people, and that literally everyone feels so entitled to make money. It's kind of funny.
It's not the fact that they're entitled. It's the fact that in order to actually have the fun things that you want in the server, you have to make money.
Have you read the
Yes?
forums? I can't make money because there's a Ghosthawk.
They can't make money because there's a Ghosthawk, and then if the Ghosthawk's not there, they get robbed by the bigger gangs that feel like they need to go around and rob people all the time instead of just trying to do other things. Would you not agree that whenever you guys had the money on the second day, you guys went around and robbed every single person you could? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so now those people that are sitting there day 2, little Timmy once again, he's fucked because he can't make any.
Yeah,
he can't try to make any
what?
money because the people are trying to run.
They keep coming back because it's fun.
They keep coming back because they're hoping to God that Virus and his gang will not come and rob them.
When you pull off a successful drug run, when the Ghosthawk is out, you feel a sense of accomplishment.
The Ghosthawk isn't always the problem.
When there's no cops on, you literally are just like
I'm happy as shit. If I get some money and if I get some money because the Ghosthawk isn't on, I'm happy as shit because now I can afford the stuff I want on my other rolls.
It's like doing a Fed rob when there's a PO and 4 deputies on. There's no sense of accomplishment there. Literally,
they're not looking to get accomplishment. They're looking to get the money. Like it's not there to kill the. That's all they want. They want the money.
Yeah, I have to agree with Warfare on this one. Not a lot of guys will just do it for the accomplishment. I mean, if I'm doing drug runs late at night, and if I did a successful, it's an accomplishment. But the next thing that's going to pop in my mind is, can I do this again before anyone else pops in here?
Yeah, you're looking to make the money on Civ. At least that's how it is for me. I play my other roles for RP. If I want to RP, I'll hop on cop because I ain't making fuck all on that. If I want to, RP, I'll go on as my little news guy. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna cut you off on that one, man. I did nothing but play cop after the wipe, and I actually made a good almost $2 million on cop.
You know how you made so much? Because everybody at the time was actually running illegal shit, so every time you go to that drug dealer, there's either 10 people already there, or there's 30 people on the list again after you check the 15 minutes prior.
Because what he would do, what Moose would do, I mean, this, and I'm just, this is all hypothetical, probably. I don't know if he actually did this, but what he would do is, in order to make his $2 million on cop, because I don't make any money on cop, I'll say that right now. I think in order for Moose to make his $2 million is that he would roll with a bunch of deputies, and he would say, "Hey, listen, if you don't give me your bounty, you're not going to get PO."
This is how you process. Let me process them. I'll show you how to do it. And then for like the next week, he just showed them how to process, even though they clearly knew how to do it.
Look, no, I mean, like, this is what people don't understand. Is like, I've literally received so many messages saying you're not making the game fun. When I'm on Civ and there's no cops on, the game is entirely boring. It's literally one-dimensional. So there's no risk of doing anything. Like when I play on if I play on server 1 late at night with Burband guys, it's literally the most boring thing I've ever done.
But that's the downfall for being in a big gang. If you want some kind of thrill and risk, you need to play with only a few people, not play with your 10 people or whoever maybe that are really skilled people. You need to play with those small little 1 to 2 man groups, and then you're going to have your risk. Because now Timmy and his little PW group, they're going to actually be a risk to you, versus the cops when you're 10 men deep. Like, you got to think that there's people that are not going to be able to make as much money as you, or as MC, or as any game that has a lot of people, because they don't have that, that group backing right there. They don't have to have people looking out. They don't have...
They don't have brains?
That's not having a brain, though. If I'm by myself, my chances of actually completing a drug run compared to you guys completing a drug run is a fuck ton less because of that. You know, I have a lot more risk than you guys would.
No, it's because they have no tactics. Like, why
So-
not? Why, if you were on your own, why would you not try and communicate with either the cops if you were doing something legal, or say the biggest gang on that server and say, hey, I'm going to be doing this drug. I'm going to give you this cut of it. Just, if I need your help or just don't rob me, I'll give you this much money. Like,
But
boom. Now you have
that one
what you
gang is
want.
not the only threat. Every single other person on the server besides the cops would be the threat. If you're doing illegal stuff, now the cops and everybody else on the server is also a threat as well. And now if I'm paying you to come be my bodyguards, that's a different story. But I don't know a lot of people that are willing to do that when they're only making 150K a run or something, similar
Well,
to that amount.
that's why you see, like, people will do, like, a run, 5 dudes and 1 orca.
Well, that's called being retarded.
No, they're doing it because it's safety in numbers, and I've seen this guy, Hermeo Keto, what he does is he lands 4 dudes at mushroom processing, they all process, and then he picks them back up and they go sell. Like, that's just a smart strategy that's hard to stop if you're, if you're a civil or if you're a cop.
Yeah, I don't agree with you, but there's no way I'm going to get you to agree with me. So it's one of those things where it's going to be no one's going to agree with each other. No one's going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I totally understand your point of view, because you're going to be set in your own ways because you experience a different game than someone else would. So
No, it's just people just don't adapt strategies. They just do the same thing over and over again and expect the result to change. Like, I can't tell you how many times I go down to moonshine processing. Oh, there's a crook off-road there. Well, what a surprise. You know what I mean? Like,
so they're trying to make money? How's that?
They're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Like,
Well, going back to the thing that Virus was saying, about contacting the bigger gangs, saying, hey, I'm doing this, I'll give you a cut or whatever, just let me do it on and get it done. I've had, when I was still playing with Bourbon, I've had times when, hey, we made that deal with somebody, they're running such and such, they like, hey, we're getting held up over here, can you come help us? We would come and help them. And, that'd be part of the whole thing of, hey, I'm getting a cut, might as well protect an investment.
But I feel like I agree with it, but they're also, it's possible that someone could rob you super quick. Either they're too far away. There's still that risk, though. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of who you hire, there's always going to be that risk. Either way, I play Civ for one reason, that's to make money. I know there's risk involved. I accept it. If I want to RP, I'll go on News Team or I'll go on Cop. That's my reasoning behind it. I'm gonna read some of the chat real quick. Would Bourbon really listen to some random fucker trying to do shit? They just rob him afterwards for the LOLs. What do you have to say, Mr. Virus? Would you rob them for the LOLs?
Oh, for sure they would.
Okay.
Well, here's what you have to understand, is that I don't necessarily share the same mindset as Bourbon. I'll rob absolutely anyone and anyone, anywhere. It doesn't matter who or what they're in. It literally doesn't. I just enjoy the fact... Yeah, exactly. And it's just the fact that I know I'm setting them back. So I take some satisfaction in knowing that they're going to be a little discouraged and work even harder next time.
Nah, they're not going to work harder. They're gonna rage quiz what they're going to do.
Yeah,
or that too.
I remember I heard a story, and it was a it was a story of Virus from a while back. I guess like he hired people to run drugs, and he was going to give them a cut of it or something like that. He fucking robbed them as soon as they sold the drugs or some shit.
You're just a scumbag, Virus. Jesus Christ. It's like, see...
Did that actually happen?
Yeah, that's why he's silent, because he doesn't want to be like, oh yeah, I did that.
Okay, well, you could convince any new player in Kabbalah to get in your car and go pick drugs for you, so...
Yeah, but see, you know how mad those people are going to be? Because you're going around, you're robbing every single person you can, you're kind of making those people be like, I fucking hate this server. Like, I don't want to play in this anymore. That's why a lot of the gangs, whenever Bourbon switched over, they said, fuck that, I'm going to go to the other server. And then whenever they keep getting robbed over there, they might just be like, well, I don't want to play Outslave anymore. What's the point? And there's no progression for me because I'm not in a big gang.
No, this is what people need to understand. Is like there's different roles, different gangs do different things, and like at the end of the day, like people are taking like way too serious. Like people are literally being sore losers. Is what it is. Like
if you got robbed every single time you try to do something and make money, you're telling me you would not be discouraged?
No, I would
fucking liar. You're
a different strategy to make money. Like
so every time you did a new strat and you got robbed, you would just keep trying to.
There's literally no way
It's possible.
that, like, once you get a vehicle with insurance, that you should ever lose money.
Base this off of a new player, though, not someone that's
No, you would,
experienced. No,
because
I'm saying
like,
if you were a new player
you
to
don't even
Altus
need
Life,
a gun in most cases to pull off a successful drug run. I could guarantee you, I could get an SUV right now, go to Frog Factory or go to Frog Swamp with a backpack, go to Frog Factory, process and sell, no problem.
So, but
I can guarantee you
base
that.
this off of being a new player, though, not someone that's experienced that knows exactly what they should probably do in order to actually, finish that run. You have to base this off the new people that don't know exactly what they're doing.
If I was a new player and I wanted to make money, I would camp a drug dealer. That's how I made my first $2 million way back in the day before the wipe, and like early May. It's just camping a drug dealer. It's like the smartest thing you can do. It's one of the 4 places you can sell. There's 4 places you can sell drugs on the whole island. Pick one of those and just camp it with a Rook or PDW, low investment. Sure, there's going to be times where you die or there's too many people, but a lot of the time it's like one dude who pulls up, kill him, take his profit, and you go straight to the ATM.
All right, well, I'm not winning this argument, so I'm going to step down. One of you guys is more than welcome to step up, because there's no getting through to you. Regardless of what I say, you're just going to be like, well, nah, you could do this, adopt and, do this.
But no, I'm saying, like, obviously people are going to figure out the game eventually, but a lot of the time, this may sound egotistical, but literally people do the same thing over and over again expecting a different result.
Because there's not much you can do in order to actually, you're going to keep recycling some stuff, obviously, because you can't. There's not much you can do. There's only a certain amount of scenarios you can really do in order to actually try to make that money. All I'm saying is, if you're a little guy by yourself, your chances of actually making money doing a drug run or any kind of legal run they diminish a fuck ton if you have a big gang on the server who's just out there to rob people. That's all they want to do, because you're guaranteed.
I think you're overestimating the people who actually go around robbing. I really don't think.
I've been robbed by you so many times.
I don't think MC and Bourbon really rob that much.
You rob all the time. You do it so often that you don't even realize how much you're doing.
Yeah, but that's me. I might as well be my own gang.
Oh, you pretty much are. So
you can fund yourself forever.
No, but I'm saying, like, people just, I don't know, like, people just don't play smart. That's what it is. Is
it they're not playing smart, or is they're not playing smarter than you?
No, it's just they do stupidest things. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, they just roll up to drug dealer, might as well have their lights and sirens on Civ. Come in there blasting direct chat. Like, I don't know. Like, you just see really dumb things that people do.
Well, I could definitely tell you that, it really depends. I mean, for the MC, at the most part, 90% of the time they're just fighting the cartels, and if it's not the cartels, they're trying to make money to compensate to fight the cartels. And the new freshly recruits are out there, scatting away at the little guys. You get maybe 3 or 4 of them, but it's not consistent.
Okay, Huskers, you're acting like, though, that the only thing you can get robbed at is by doing drug runs, though. The legal processors are not green zones. For some reason, everybody that comes on the server thinks that. But they're not green zones, you know what I mean? So you can get robbed at anything. Either way.
But at least, you have some sort of forewarning, and, like, you don't have to die if you don't want to. Like,
explain.
If you really value your life, then you would just give them your car and give them whatever you have on you.
So basically, the time you just wasted to go and pick and process was pointless?
If you have something important, so if there's something important to you, your life's important to you, you do it.
Why would it be important, though, in this game if they're just going to come and steal everything that you have? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like your life's going to matter then. If they take everything you have, who fucking cares if you die at that point?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You were saying that you'd always get robbed doing...
I'm not saying always. I'm just saying Hutcher said in chat that if you don't want to get robbed, don't do illegal stuff. I'm saying you can get robbed doing legal things. It's not like legal things are like some kind of safe haven to where you can't be robbed. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the legal stuff's kind of out of the way now. Like, before the oil field was literally between... the oil field was between cocaine field and cocaine processing. So it's like a pretty high traffic area. Now it's like everything's kind of like out of the way. Nobody really wants to venture up there, and literally the only time you're venturing up there is like if you're doing a meth run yourself, and then you'd be like, oh well, there's the oil Zamac there. Well, I'm gonna make more money doing this run out, and I already have my helicopter, so you know what I mean. Like there are some places.
I don't know. I feel
but,
like people that are
lower traffic now.
people that are making money, like you said, you're doing either a solo meth run. You see a person doing either a drug or a legal thing. You sound like you're more inclined to just go after them and rob them instead of just continuing on with whatever you were doing.
I'm saying you would, like, the way it is set up now is like, you're doing meth, you're obviously doing the helicopter, so you'd just be more inclined to finish your own drug run and just let the person do their thing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that you're more inclined to go and rob the person while you're doing it. Oh, okay.
No.
That was like, I was like, well, fuck it, you're a dick then. Like, just go and do whatever you're doing, and then you don't need to rob
That's
the
just
person.
what I've seen. Like, personally, I've seen like oil trucks heading up there because it's like right in the like triangle of meth, and it's like there's not much you can really do. It's just like, well, they're gonna get their run in. That's fine. You're gonna get your safe meth run in, and you'll both make money. So
Yeah, well, this isn't going anywhere. We'll agree to disagree. Any more topics you guys want to discuss, or we wanna call it on that sour note?
Actually, it's not really that sour. It's really enjoyable. I mean,
Not even, man.
hitting all the notes. Everyone's got their good points and opinions on each topic being discussed.
Either way, it's one
Felt
of
like
those
the
things.
O'Reilly factor. It was great.
Right. Either way, it's one of those things where it's like, clearly Virus will not persuade me to go his way, and I ain't persuading his ass to just be like, oh yeah, man, definitely.
It's like,
So.
it's like
Yeah,
Larry
I've
said just a minute ago. It's a tennis match between Warfare and Virus.
That's it.
I've been paid to say I love potatoes by the potato god himself, McCringleberry.
Well, alrighty then. Do we want to wrap it up here, or do we want to talk about any kind of little final things?
I think Dunzos.
Done. All right. You guys want to shout at anybody? Say hi to your mom or your dads or your pops or your grandparents or your friends, whoever you want to say hi to.
Nah.
No.
They don't
All
do
right,
anything.
Shout out
else
to
like that.
McCringleberry, my #1 fan.
So that's a big fuck you all from Fat Clemenza. Good noted.
Thanks to all the viewers.
Yeah,
that are
right.
watching this.
Shout out to everyone. Appreciate you guys enjoying our conversations. Appreciate you guys all coming out to be our guest. Mr. McDilly was I think he might still be taking a shit.
Get a shit.
I've been. Wait, let me check. Hang on.
So now he's
Yeah,
sleeping. I think he fell
I've been
asleep taking
unmuted.
his shit.
I think the entire time in the MC team speak, and
He
hasn't said a word. So.
He's been gone the whole time, so shout out to him for being a no-show. Everyone can yell at him when this goes up on the forums later tomorrow. Like I said, I appreciate you guys coming out. Moose, appreciate you coming on last minute, being able to just swoop in and take over McDilly's spots. Next week, guys, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but you can always suggest it on the forums. If you need a link to that, I'll give it to you real quick.
Thanks
There's
for
the
having
picture
us.
of McDilly's
Let's see.
connecting in idle time.
All right, so there's the topic, guys. If you need that, you can go check that out. What is this? What is the link?
That link is McDilly's idle time.
Wait, what? This link right here?
Yeah, for idle for
let me
2
see.
hours.
Hold on, let me see real quick.
So basically, 30 minutes before the podcast, he went and took a
Disappears.
shit, and now he's been gone the whole time. He's gonna
He
wake
might have
up.
fell in.
All right, he's gonna wake up and be like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like he's gonna have no clue.
He's fapping it. Come on now.
He's just
Jesus Christ.
either
2
way,
hours and
either way,
23
Dustin.
minutes.
Everyone has valid points, but everyone's gonna have a different
Wow,
opinion.
Dustin.
You know what I mean?
It's
No
really
reason.
Sure, if you keep saying that, man.
Yeah, no reason to hate over it. Your opinion is probably the same as mine, Dustin. But everyone has opinions, and everyone's gonna agree with somebody. Either way, we're only here to discuss stuff. We're here to persuade people our opinion. If they don't agree with it, they don't agree with it. Move on, get over it, have fun.
And that's why their opinions.
Exactly. We're here to just talk about topics, and if we can improve something on the server and something that the staff look at and agree with, maybe it get changed, maybe it won't. At the end of the day, it ain't our servers, so it's not up to us to decide what gets fixed. So.
I was gonna exactly say what Zombified just said right there.
Let's be honest,
Apparently
fapping
with
doesn't
William-
take that long. All right, guys.
man.
We're going to call
Thank
it.
you for
I
having
appreciate
me.
you watching. Thank you for coming on, gentlemen, and we will see you guys next week. Make sure you follow the stream.
Cool. See you guys.
See ya.
Peace.